Now, talking about Gavin Newsom there, his failures haven't stopped him from being a front-runner to be the Democrats' next presidential candidate. Ami, he failed as San Francisco mayor, he's failed as California governor, but he really doesn't face too much opposition. In fact, this is his major competition.
A tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump.
Where to for the Democrats? They've got Gavin, they've got Kamala, who's doing her book tour. Who is their next leader? Because at some point, and some point shortly, they need to come up with a credible candidate to fight the 2028 election. They seem to be completely lost. They've got the most radical voices who seem to be dominating at the moment, the AOCs and Jasmine Crockett's and Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, they're the heroes of the Democratic Party, unfortunately. I don't hear large-scale opposition to Mamdani, running as an open socialist / communist in New York. By the way, and in that clip you played of Kamala, she was part of that permission structure we've been talking about saying, hey, demonizing President Trump as a communist dictator. I mean, this is insanity. This is a mainstream politician speaking like this. Look, I don't know if you guys have this and you're crazy.
And Ami, right after that, sorry to interrupt, but right after she called Donald Trump a communist dictator, she went on to endorse Mamdani, an actual communist, for the next mayor of New York. So the permission structures you're talking about, they're completely lost, the Democrats. Where are their values? I mean, where are they so far left now that the AOCs and Jasmine Crockett's are now really their mainstream? Or is there a sensible Democrat demographic that's going to come to the fore in the next year or so?
Yeah, no, they are mainstream. As I said, they're heroes, the Democratic Party. Look, you talk about, is there a mainstream candidate? Yeah, I suppose Josh Shapiro is. He's running at the end of the pack for the 2028 Democratic nomination in the recent polls. Kamala Harris, you just talked about, who lost her race, she lost, is still in the last 14 different polls they've had that have come out this year. She is first or second in most of them, okay? She is absolutely, she has gunning for this nomination. She turned down the gubernatorial race in California because she wants to keep her options open for the race in 2028. She's still involved in national political debate. She's still fundraising. She's still going to all the meetings. She's absolutely, right now, she's one of the people, the leaders in the clubhouse. And and by the way, don't sleep on Gavin Newsom. You talked about before. I know we all see him as a clown, which he is. But what I'm telling you is there's a reason why he won over and over again as governor of California. He knows he can hide his radical policy, and he does in fact fake it as a mainstream politician. He knows how to debate very well. I know we laugh at him on our side, but the truth is he's very, very good at it. I would not sleep on him at all.
No, he was even trying to be the sensible centrist, despite what he's done to California, sitting down with conservatives. He even had Charlie Kirk on his podcast, and he's trying to present a very different image that is a bit more palatable to people outside of California. We'll see how that goes. Now, President Trump is determined to clean up Portland. He wants to restore law and order and hold Antifa accountable for the violence and destruction that they engage in regularly. You went to Portland during the BLM Antifa riots of 2020. Let's have a quick look at what you captured.
Even after they were attacked with glass, bottles, and rocks. At one point, I was hit by a propelled gas canister. There were groups of people interrogating journalists. They warned me that if I portrayed the protesters in a negative light, I would face street justice. And after being recognized, I was pelted with broken glass. In the words of the protesters that I spoke to, the goal of these protests is to encourage societal breakdown so that it could be rebuilt in their own warped image.
Ami, that was 5 years ago. How much have things changed in Portland? President Trump wants Antifa to be designated a domestic terror group, but Democrats and many in the media claim that Antifa doesn't even exist. It's not a organised group. It's just packs of people who come together occasionally to burn down things and bash people. How do you see it? You've been there on the ground. Is there a need for intervention?
Yeah, you asked me how much has changed since that video that I shot nearly 5 years ago. Zero has changed, Rita. Zero. It continues to this day. You know what I hate? I hate the fact that my videos tend to be evergreen. You can show a video just like that. And by the way, most people, if you didn't say what year it was, would think it's happening now because the attacks on federal buildings across our country and the continued attack on ICE facilities and government buildings in Portland. Look, there is this narrative that Antifa is not a thing. It's a figment of the right-wing imagination. I've been undercover with Antifa. Right? I have gone and met with Antifa. They have threatened me over and over again, both online and in person. No, they are real, okay? They are funded. They have a plan, and their plan is destruction of our society. They are the soldiers of the left wing, the literal soldiers of the left wing. Look, when you go to these places, right, and you see Antifa, for example, when you go to Chaz, right? Do you remember when Seattle was taken over by Antifa?
Oh, yes.
And all these places, they dress the same. They're armed the same. Yes, they are armed. They wear insignias. They have the same banners. Don't lie to me and tell me that they're nothing, right? That they're just some random people coming up and putting on this Antifa label. Yes, they don't have a president. They don't have a particular hierarchical structure. But look, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. They have chapters, right? Specific, the Rose Antifa chapters, the chapter in Portland, right? The John Brown Gun Club in Seattle. These are actual chapters. If you go into the Anarchist Handbook, right? The Anarchist Handbook library, they specifically set out how do you create your own chapter. And they have a set of terms you have to abide by, okay? So don't lie to me and tell me they don't exist. They do, and they are a threat, a true threat to us and our democracy.
Ami Horowitz, thank you so much.